Hey YouTube! This video is about how to teach a puppy or an adult dog to be calm around a broom or a vacuum cleaner. Now, the footage that I used is from a private lesson with a cattle dog puppy named Sydney who used to get very excited about a broom. So the footage is actually in real time with no edit, so you can see the process of the puppy from the beginning to the end. The training session was about 7 minutes. So with your own dog, I would say keep the training sessions shorter, so depending on your dog, how well your dog's doing. If your dog's not doing so well, keep it very short and then just do more training sessions in the day. I would suggest, if your dog's doing well, maybe a 3-minute session here and there rather than 7 minutes. But I wanted to show you all of the different steps back to back with this puppy, and also to show the owner before I left so she had something to work on. Okay. So I've broken up the broom into 3 different pieces because this specific dog, Sydney, he gets excited when he sees a broom sweeping, but he doesn't know this is a broom yet because the broom that he gets excited about has bristles. So this shouldn't excite him at all. So what I'm going to do is simply feed him for looking at this object. Boy, and he's not at all interested in it, so I'll wave it around and he doesn't care. Good boy. Good boy. And what you're doing is you're reinforcing the absence of wanting to chase or get excited by the object. So if your dog stops looking at it, that's a great thing. You don't want them to constantly go over and touch the object or look at it, because that will make them excited. So you're trying to get them to just basically ignore the object. And there's something called trigger stacking, which is when certain triggers make the dog more aroused. So, for example, the movement of the broom could make the dog excited, or the sound. So right now we're just working on the movement. And when you add them all together, then the dog can get over his threshold and get way too excited. So movement and sound, and also what the broom looks like. So the dog has been sensitized to a specific broom. The movement, the sound, and seeing the broom might make the dog really, really excited, and there's no way to train. So that's why we're using a different broom and changing it up so we work on the different steps one at a time. Good job. Okay, so now I'm going to make the noise without moving the broom, which is... And he's like, I don't even care about that. He probably would care if it was his real broom. It's like, this woman is slightly mad. Good job. And he's doing so well, I'm going to add a little bit of it together. Good boy. I'll make the broom a little bit longer. The idea is that you don't want the dog to react, so that's why we go in little mini steps rather than see, oh, let's try sweeping with the broom, and then, oh no, he's lunged at it, and going back a step. Good boy. So there he got a little bit excited by it. I don't know if you can see that. Good boy. I'm not going to make your dog very fat.
It's okay, he's always hungry. And he's growing fast, so I'm not worried about it.
He's also a little frustrated by the game. It's like, hey, how do I get that treat? Watch out for your tongue. I don't want to get it stuck in there. Good boy. Awesome. So if he were to suddenly look very excited about it, it's going to stop. Good boy. Some chicken as well. Awesome. So the movement is very slow at first. I'm just going to push it just a little bit and stop and pull it and stop. And as the dog gets better, you can make the movement go faster. Good boy. And then obviously when you're cleaning your house, you're not going to have your dog loose and then suddenly be like whoosh, 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 all over the place. you know, if you do need to use the broom in front of your dog, you don't have to sweep really fast. You can just do it really slowly if your dog is out, or go and put your dog away while you're training your dog. Good job. Yelling at a dog to stop going after a broom doesn't solve the problem because the motion is exciting them. You can't unexcite someone by yelling at them. So what you do is counter conditioning. You change their emotional response to the movement, which is calm and relaxed rather than overexcited. Good boy. Now I'm going to change the picture by moving over here because he hasn't seen me using it over here while he's standing up. So I'm going to do a little bit over here. This is so boring.
You're very friendly, gotta say.
Good job. It's getting stuck. Good boy. Okay, shall we try your broom?
Yeah.
So, I mean, everyone can be guilty of this, that I won't say it right now, but some people, when they get their broom or their vacuum cleaner out, or the dog sees a cat, they go, "Oh my God, look, there's a cat." Don't do that. Don't be like, "I'm gonna sweep. You wanna see me sweep? I'm gonna be sweeping now." Some people do that. I don't know why, but you know, maybe you like to see your dog get excited. It's not good for the dog. So he's really good about just seeing the broom. And let's start with the noise of the broom. Another thing is he's never seen me in this house before sweeping, so I'm not really associated with the excitement of the idea of this. And this broom is, he gets excited about outside. So that's why we're working with it inside and not in the area that he gets really super excited about it. Good boy. Yes, so good. So with counter conditioning, you don't actually have to have a marker. This is the stimulus and the reward follows. So this is predicting the treat. You don't have to say yes and then feed. You can if you want. You can click. But if you're making a noise, then it's kind of confusing if you make a noise and then you click. So I would just simply make the noise of the broom and then feed. Good boy. And you can tell them they're very good. They're very good. For a vacuum cleaner, work on the triggers separately before adding them together. Some triggers could be the vacuum cleaner itself, the movement of it, sounds of the cord, and sounds of the vacuum running. If your dog likes to lunge and attack your vacuum cleaner or broom, you can tether your dog on a leash and harness to something secure so that you can then work freely without worrying about blocking the dog from going for the hoover. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that Lumos is tied up here. And because we worked on the broom, I'm going to show you how to work with the hoover. Okay, so first, you can start at a distance if your puppy or your dog was very excited by something like this. And I'm just going to move it a little bit and feed a treat. Good job. If your puppy or dog gets too excited when the actual vacuum cleaner or broom is in the same room, then you can have your puppy in one room and the broom in the other. But I would really suggest working with something that isn't the actual thing that you use. For Kiko, she used to be really excited about a vacuum cleaner or other vacuum cleaner, and simply by getting a new vacuum cleaner, she suddenly wasn't excited anymore because it was making a different noise. For some dogs, just the sound of the cord coming out or the cord getting sucked in can be very exciting. So you can do the noise and then feed a treat. You want to have your dog further away than in this video, but I have it set up like this in this video so I can talk to you and film at the same time. So you turn it around, feed the treat. your dogs have issues with the vacuum, work with them one at a time before working with them all at the same time. So how are you going to do your housework while working on this issue with your dogs? Well, if you have multiple people in your house, one can walk the dog while the other does the cleaning, or if it's just you, you can put your dog away and turn on some loud music while you're doing the vacuuming or the sweeping in another room. If at any point the dog seems overexcited or fearful, go back a step. All dogs are different and require a different amount of training sessions to change their behavior.